and welcome to the Healing for the Heart podcast. It's great to have you with us. We have not recorded some podcasts for a while because we've had some staff absence going on. However, we're all back, we're all fighting fit, and hopefully we're back with you in terms of podcasts too. We thought that for these next few podcasts, what we would do is do them in-house only. And so you're going to hear from some of our staff. Today we've got Donna and Vikki with us, who are both community development workers working with us in Healing for the Heart, and they're going to chat a little bit just now with me about their own mental health and what they do to support their mental health. We recognise that our staff all work in some really quite difficult situations sometimes, and in fact for them to be the best that they possibly can be, to give our clients and our service users the best they can possibly have, then they need to be well and healthy too. So we think it's really important for us to be able as a staff to look after our own mental health. So we're going to chat with Vikki and with Donna about their mental health and about how they do that. So first of all, it might be quite good for you just to introduce yourself. Give us a wee bit of a flavour about what you do in Healing for the Heart and how that impacts your mental health first of all. So let's kind of start with where you are and what was going on there, and then we'll talk about how you've improved your mental health. Do you want to start, Donna?
Okay, all right. Thanks, Shona. It's nice to be here. Nice to be back at the podcast. I think the last one I done was quite a while ago, but it's nice to be back. I coordinate and lead the community development programme, run the groups across the week, and the groups consist of Compassionate Conversations, Teen Talk Tuesday, and Made for More, which is a self-development programme, and partnership work with the addiction services as well. So that's overall what my job role is here. Some of the groups have been particularly difficult for me, the suicide and alcohol and drug death bereavement group particularly, and it was quite difficult at the beginning to sit in the groups, facilitate the groups, and come look after my own mental health in that instance. I think coming back, having Vikki there with me was a great support at the time, because we debriefed after the groups and came back to the office and were provided with clinical support with the counsellors or yourself or Jodie, which is the clinical manager. I think also managing my time and getting access to counselling within the service actually really helped me as well. Yep. And having regular staff meetings, having regular chats about what was going on in the group, and really helped take the pressure off me that I was doing it all myself. Yeah. I'm really glad that I'm actually getting counselling within Healing for the Heart as well, because there's some stuff that come up for me, like precarious trauma stuff that come up for me, and a bit of fear with regards to my own family and suicide, and thinking about all the really heavy topics really impacted me a wee bit. But I was able to debrief that, and I was able to chat about that, and look at my own triggers within all of that stuff, and counselling, which was really helpful.
Yep, and the counselling thing would be one of the things that we offer just routinely for staff here. It's not like you have to be having a major crisis or anything. We offer counselling, and I know there are a number of other employers out there who would do the same thing, because we partner with them and we do the counselling for them. You touched a wee bit on the whole kind of time thing in there as well, and we might come back to that, because in actual fact it's not always just the content of the stuff that is emotionally draining, but in actual fact trying to balance your time and get from one place to the other and all the rest of it, and actually hold all of that stuff together also is difficult. So we might come back to that. So if I forget, prod me and we'll come back to that. Vikki, why don't you talk a wee bit about your journey here with us and how that's kind of impacted you?
So it's nice to be here. My journey's been quite mind-blowing and quite miraculous, really. Going from a volunteer to an intern, and now increasing my hours, and not being an intern anymore, and being invested in, really being invested in, having some trust put in me. I too benefit from the amazing counselling that we offer here, and the support and the supervision, and Donna's been showing me the ropes for a long time now, and we do debrief, we do support each other with friends out at work as well, which is beautiful. With the compassionate conversation groups, they are a Friday, which is a good thing. So I find that I can kind of chill out over the weekend, whether that be with family or friends, a wee day out of Glasgow, whatever it is I'm doing. But yeah, my journey here has been amazing, and I think what I like most about working for Healing for the Heart is seeing the people that we work with making a journey as well. I find that really uplifting. Donna mentioned vicarious trauma, and that was I had to learn empathy. I think can be a gift and a curse. So at first, especially with compassionate conversations, I really was taking people home in my heart and in my head, and so I had to speak to Donna about that stuff and kind of learn to boundary myself and have a good, proper, healthy wind down. But like I say, a Friday, a Friday's a good thing for that. And straight after the compassionate conversation groups, I take the wee creative writing group, and that just feeds my spirit. That's how I started my journey here, volunteering and doing that creative writing group. I love it. I absolutely love it. I particularly love that group. I particularly love hearing other people's writing and writing myself. It helps me to process my thoughts and my emotions. So the way it's set up, it's working really, really well. But watching the people that we work with making a journey alongside my journey, I think is probably the best thing. That's the best thing about working here.
I think it's really interesting to listen to both of you as well talk, because so we obviously provide community development work as a service to the local communities and as a service to folks within the local communities, be that some interest group, or whether it's about connecting and having people break with the whole loneliness and isolation thing or whatever. So we provide that as a service. But what I'm hearing you say is that there's also a journey for you in the midst of that as well. And I think that's really, really powerful, because I think that then encourages other folks that are using the services that are perhaps not quite as far on in their journey as you are, that actually this is about a continuum. It doesn't stop, so you continue with that journey all the way through, and it's not like, although you have skills and knowledge and are experienced in terms of what you do, it's not about setting up that power dynamic where you know it all and you have to impart your wisdom. It's about how we walk on that journey together, which I think is really interesting. You've talked a lot about compassionate conversations, and we're going to come back and do another podcast about compassionate conversations for folks, just in case folks are wondering what that is. But we want to talk this morning a bit about your own journey and how you look after your well-being. Now, I know that both of you have started doing wild swimming, so I don't really understand the appeal of wild swimming. That seems like a very cold thing to be doing. I'm not entirely certain I would be very interested in that. However, it is making a huge difference for you. Why don't you tell us a wee bit about that and how you got involved with it?
So I started in March, cold water swimming with a lot of women. So it's a female only group. It's been massive for me and my mental health. Certainly at the beginning, I'm really, really self-conscious about the weight that I've gained through lockdown and in my recovery as well. And I was petrified to get into a swimming costume in front of anyone. So that was a big thing for me, feeling comfortable in my swimming costume because it's women only. In terms of mental health specifically, it's completely changed my sleeping pattern. So it's a sleep booster. Definitely it's a sleep booster. I've only been doing 10 minutes, but I started at the beginning of March, so it was literally freezing. It's boosted my immune system as well. So one of my big struggles in my life is around my health. So I've got COPD and I've got diabetes as well. And I was catching every single bug that was going through the winter. I had a really, really bad winter with chest infections, influenza, I ate all sorts of stuff. And I have never caught a thing. I've never caught a single bug since I started doing this cold water swimming stuff. But afterwards we come out and we light a bonfire and it's literally sister time. So it's more of that connection that you were speaking about. It's more women meeting women, swapping numbers, doing other things together, friendships forming, and of course a lot of these women work in other services, so that's really fascinating as well. That's like an extra support, other people that work in services, a wee bit of networking, a wee bit of connecting, it's amazing. So yeah, sleep pattern, immune booster, meeting other women, and getting comfortable in my skin. It's been it's been fabulous for me, really, really good.
Fabulous. Clearly a real advert for cold water swimming. Whereabouts do you go?
We go to Luss on a Wednesday night. So Recovery Rhythms are involved as well, and Blue Veil as well. So Blue Veil run a wee minibus. And Donna and I have had the pleasure of seeing people that we've met in our work, in our group work, through Healing for the Heart, actually at Luss doing the cold water dipping.
Amazing.
People spreading their wings out, and trying other stuff. It's just been amazing. It really, really has.
Excellent.
Wednesday night, 7:00, Luss Car Park. See you there.
You can join Vikki.
It's amazing.
What about you, Donna? Did you come after Vikki, or were you
watching Vikki actually, and watching, I'm on a lot of groups because of community development and social media and stuff like that, and I've watched a lot of the women come together, and I thought I'm going to try that. Prior to that, I always go out at the weekend every Saturday. Saturdays are for adventures for me, like connecting with nature, is how I've looked after my mental health as well, not just like with counselling and clinical stuff. It's getting out in nature, travelling to different places, and then I thought I'm going to try the cold water swimming. I started with, my first time was at Luss, and I've went out several places since then on my own, to waterfalls, to beaches, to not just the women. I think for me it was a bit different because I did counselling on a Wednesday, and I thought that, I think that I need to actually self-care and not be around lots and lots of people, because in my job and in my life I'm always around lots and lots of people. So I find after my counselling I need to do a bit of self-care and be on my own to process things. So that's how I was taking myself out and doing it with just a few friends at the weekend primarily. But I'm going to go back and join the ladies this week and connect with another few friends that are going to go and try that.
And this sounds like, even when you're both talking, in terms of looking after your own well-being, your own mental health and emotional well-being, it's not really just about one particular thing. It's actually about how you slot those things in. So that's us kind of back to the time management thing, isn't it, that you were talking about earlier on, and how you hold all of these things. I mean, I suppose some people would say, rightly or wrongly, that self-care is just about self-indulgence. So how do you answer that? What would you say?
Self-care is, I used to think actually self-care was about just like buying myself flowers every week. I buy myself flowers every week and I put them in my bedroom, and I really like, it's a nice thing for me to do, but it's more than that. It's about it is about time management. It is about no spreading yourself too thinly, being careful about the things that you take on, because I just don't know in my work, I like other things in my recovery and help people through the 12-step program and recovery journeys. So it's no leaving yourself too thin and no getting too much away and managing that stuff. And also, physically, and going to the gym and looking after myself spiritually as well. We going to meetings. It's a lot. And it's a lot to manage sometimes, but that's why I need to be stringent with my time and my time management now. I never used to be.
and I suppose really what you're talking about is how you boundary things, isn't it? So it's actually about looking at good boundaries, how you boundary yourself from other people, but actually there's something about internal boundaries as well, and boundarying for yourself and what that looks like. And although, like Vikki was saying as well, the groups that you do actually feed your spirit, feed your soul. But actually there's something about how you boundary things out so that you're very intentional about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, because stress is a major trigger for me. I suffer with anxiety sometimes, and tension and anxiety and stress is a big trigger for that as well. I think the cold water swimming has really helped me with, it's reduced my anxiety, it's helped my sleep pattern. and it's reduced my mitigating stress levels as well. So I never really need to be careful with the stress, and that's why time management and boundaries is important for me.
Yep. And of course, I suppose there's science behind the cold water swimming as well, in terms of it releasing all of those good hormones that actually start to make you feel good, and start to influence your sleep, your immune system, and all the rest of it. So I think, even what you're talking about there, it's not just about your mind and about helping your mind, it's actually about your body, and you're talking about your spirit as well, that kind of whole holistic thing for us, and how we do that. So if the two of you were throwing one thing out into the folks who are listening or watching the podcast here that you would say to them in terms of improving their mental health, we usually ask the question, if there's one thing that we could change that would impact things hugely for people, and it's usually kind of a big societal question. But if you were just giving somebody one piece of advice in terms of improving their mental health, taking the next step, what would that be? What would you say to them?
For me, at the moment, it's small incremental changes that I can maintain. Yeah. So it's not setting myself up for a fail. And my examples of that are, I decided to go vegan. I couldn't quite cut it. It was too much, it was too much. But instead of just ripping that up and going back, I went pescatarian. So I'm currently pescatarian, salmon twice a week and vegetarian the rest of the time. And that was one of the first times in my life where I hadn't just done that, or I've failed, just fall back into the old ways. I thought, no, right, I need a wee half measure here. I've done the same with smoking, so I tried to stop smoking for 4 days. Felt like I was absolutely going to do damage in my life, and I'm on a vape, so I've not had a cigarette since January. So again, it wasn't just a case of I can't do this, because I don't believe in that. So I'm learning for myself that I can make small incremental changes that I can then maintain and feel good about myself. So Rome was not built in a day for me, and this is all quite new to me, and it's really, really working for me. I'm getting that small sense of achievement, but I've still got a goal to reach, and so that's what I would say to people. Don't set yourself up for a fail. Work towards something, and just do it at your pace, in ways that you can maintain.
And that sounds like also being able to be kind to yourself and let yourself off the hook. So if you fail, or if you don't do so well one day, it's actually okay. That's the whole adage, isn't it, about if you drop your phone and it cracks, you don't jump all over it to smash it. You lift it up and you look after it so it doesn't get any worse. Whereas when we fail ourselves, very often we're jumping all over ourselves and making it much worse, rather than treating ourselves kindly and actually helping ourselves to move forward. So small incremental steps from you, and clearly an advocate for wild swimming again. Definitely. So that means if it's small incremental steps, I could come and just put my foot in the water the first week.
We'd love you to come, Shona.
So I don't actually
Donna's got a rather nice wetsuit. Donna's went all out and bought herself a wetsuit. I'm going to try and get a bit of weight off before I buy a wetsuit. But we'd love you to come, Shona.
Excellent. Just one foot in the water maybe then. What about you, Donna? What would you say to folks?
I don't know, I think Vicky's right. It's about your expectations, isn't it? What is it you want to achieve? And I think it would be get connected. Because I think when you get connected, people start to inspiring. People start to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself sometimes, and that can be the energy that drives you and holds you for a time until, like you said, until you can fly really and get your wings. And we've seen that. We've seen that in the groups that we do, and it's absolutely amazing.
Fabulous. Brilliant. Okay, I think we will probably leave this one here. We've probably given enough food for thought for folks for just now. If there's anything that you've heard today that has really stirred you, that you're interested in, if you want to connect in with any of the community development groups that Donna or Vikki are running, we run some in person across the city of Glasgow. We also run some that are online, and we run some that are hybrid. And so we should have something that everybody can dip into. But if you're interested, if you go onto our website, which is www.healingfortheheart.co.uk, you'll be able to find a contact form on there. drop us a wee contact form, submit that form, it'll come through to Vikki or Donna and they'll get back to you and let you know what's around. But meantime, if you're in the Luss area at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, you can always join Vikki for cold water swimming. It's been great to have you with us. Again, if you are interested in coming and having a conversation with us about how you improve your mental health or about anything to do with mental health, then do get in touch with us and we'd be happy to make space for you on one of our future podcasts.